Okay, you guys, we are back with another banging video, and it's game on. I got my rapper chain on, and it's game on. I got my chain on, and it's game on. I got my rapper chain on, and it's game on. I got my chain on, okay? Because if I don't, someone in the comment is like, where's your rapper chain? They don't want to just see the chain. They want to hear the song because that's why they're asking for the chain. Okay. Now, in this video, we're going to talk about Barney because it appears as though Barney wants to testify against the chef in Steffon Diggs' case, and her team is telling her to butt the F out, stay out of it, because if you have any antlings in this, it just might be the end of your career because you have a reputation already that the streets talk about for always going against women, beating up women. So it is alleged that her team is telling her to butt the F out, stay out of it, or else it's gonna be her ass. And you know what? I agree with her team. They're telling her to stand down, stand the F down. And if this allegation is true, I definitely support her team. And this really goes to show you who Barnaby is, because if you guys remember when the chef came out with the allegations and the internet was talking about it, she wanted to repeat history as though she wasn't badly repeating history already with that man, Steffon Diggs, embarrassing her ass. She did the same thing with Offset when people were talking about Offset's cheating behavior and how Offset wasn't fulfilling his husbandly duties financially. Do you guys know that's how the drama between Cardi B and Tasha K started? Yes, honey, in case you were not paying attention to the early portions of it. Tasha K was calling Offset a deadbeat dad, saying Offset, she has learned that Offset allegedly doesn't finance his household. And Cardi B was threatening Tasha K since then, saying that, how dare you talk about my husband like that? How dare you call my husband a deadbeat dad? And Tasha K kept coming for Cardi B with more allegations. And she said she's serious this time. She's going to sue Tasha K. So as time passed, the same thing that Tasha K said about Offset initially, the same thing she alleged about him, Cardi B came out admitting that Offset wasn't paying child support, he wasn't contributing to the kids, because ever since she filed for the divorce, it's been months since Offset has really done anything for the kids. That's what she said on Spaces, right? And then she started breaking down how much she had to be spending on the kids monthly. So I'm just saying that to say Cardi B has a history, and sometimes we need to take notes, write it down, not just mental notes, write it down. Write down where you have gone wrong before, and even though your heart might be tricking you into getting involved into something, sometimes you have to say, man, this is surely rubbing me the wrong way, but I'm gonna sit this one out, because Cardi B needs to sit this one out. Who is gonna tell you that your man just beat them up, especially if they were smashing your man? Chef Mila was not gonna do that. And Chef Mila would have to provide me with evidence that she wasn't smashing Steffon Diggs. I believe she was smashing Diggs, and so why Diggs felt so entitled to slap her and choke her out on top of it. Now, make no mistakes, that happens to women on a regular basis by strangers, just by them asking you for your phone number. Men can't handle rejection, right? And just by a guy asking you for your phone number or saying hi to you and they want to touch on you and you saying no, it can cause them to get violent and aggressive. So under normal circumstances, men do that, right? And Steffon Diggs is no exception to the rule. He's a guy, He messes around with a lot of women. As you can see per the text messages of Chef Mila, she says you have a circus going on in your house. So if if she's saying that Diggs has a circus going on in her house, kind of you need to understand that Mila was just communicating with her to keep her job. Do you know sometimes you're in spaces, you're doing what needs to be done to survive? I believe Mila was just in survival mode and she had an exit plan. But a part of the exit plan was to get that business set up from Diggs. And I believe they were smashing. I do believe that Diggs is a Casanova. I believe he knows how to sweep women off their feet. Maybe he was giving chef an extra 5,000, an extra 13,000, an extra 20. Maybe he was doing that. And this woman was like, wow, he's giving me all of this extra money. As a fisherman and you're going to catch fish, you're going to have to throw out some baits. And it seems as though Steffon Diggs knows, he's good. Well, evidently the guy is good at fishing and he knows what kind of bait to use to reel in these women. And it seemed as though it worked on Mila. But Mila is now trying to save face, save image, and save reputation, because with a face and a body like hers, who's gonna want Mila around their man if she has a history of smashing people's man while working for them? So Mila is saying, that did not happen. She didn't have an affair with Steffon Diggs. But as I said to you guys yesterday, Gorgeous Doll is saying Mila is not lying about Diggs putting his hands on her. Gorgeous Doll is speaking the truth, and Gorgeous Doll is that girl that used to date Future, and when Future was messing around with her, playing in her face, and many people said that Future used her and she got nothing, she came out and she exposed Future's entire playbook. Future was so mad that Future was crashing out, like literally crashing out. If you missed that series, honey, trust and believe you've missed a pivotal moment in history, because Gorgeous Doll was sharing everything. She was recording the phone calls when Future was calling her, crashing out, because she was revealing Future's playbook, play by play, and Future was not happy about it. She revealed everything, and man, he got her account suspended, permanently suspended. But she got smarter, she got wiser. She has 2 accounts now. She has one that she uses for her business, I believe, one that she uses for her story time. So the other day, yesterday, when I did that video saying, Gorgeous Doll is coming out to say she knows Mila, she has worked with Mila in the club, and Mila has a reputation for being an honest individual who is easy to get along with. So as such, when Mila came out with the allegations against Steffon Diggs, she has no doubt that Mila is speaking facts, but Gorgeous Doll is saying, hey, I believe they were smashing too. And when I did that video yesterday, people were like, he said, she said, he said. Okay, I have the clip today. So let's take a look into that clip from Miss Gorgeous Doll and what she has to say about working with Mila over the years. The clip is here. When I said it yesterday, many of you were like, whatever. But many people saved the clip. I'm trying to find it on Gorgeous Doll page and it's not on her page anymore, but a few other pages have saved it and I have it today. I see a lot of people now running with the clip ever since I said that yesterday. I was lying, but when you saw that clip coming out today from a lot of other people, you guys are not saying I'm lying anymore. You can't say I'm lying. And I have the clip. So let's take a look at that clip together, shall we? And then I'll get back with the rest of my commentary.
Chef Mila, who's suing Steffon Diggs, yes, I do know her. And let me tell you something, she's not lying. Okay? I've met a lot of fucked up bitches in nightlife, but Chef Mila, she's not like that. She's real calm, cool, collected. Her energy is real soft. Okay? Like, she's the type of bitch, like, if she stays the night with you or you stay the night with her, you'll wake up to breakfast, lunch, and dinner. oh, do you want me to make you some food to go before you leave? I'm going to cook anyways. Like, she cooks for fun. Okay. And it's like, when she started to really make it as a chef, right? She got out of nightlife. Right? But what I will tell you is somebody who used to work with Mila, she is not the type of bitch that be on some grimy shit. So when she said, I have no reason to lie, I would not lie for my personal gain, I 1,000% believe her. It's certain bitches that I could come on here and tell y'all that whole lying or this and that. It's certain bitches. But when I found out it was Mila who was suing him, I said, oh yeah, he did that shit. Cause the thing is when you're in nightlife, you meet a lot of different personalities and you start to be able to tell who's genuine and like who's not. One thing about Mila, if y'all remember me telling you guys that story time about how I had fell out with, Jordanos. Remember when I told you how I fell out with Jordanos because she had met a trick and pretty much she was trying to keep the trick around. So she kept on trying to bring her friends around to get to her trick so she could keep him happy. Remember that situation when I told y'all, she was like, gee, don't go to work. We're just going to be able to hang out. He's going to pay us, da, da, da. And then we end up going back to his place thinking we going to smoke and vibe and chill. And he like, how much your friend want? And remember, I was like, give me 10K. He went in the closet, got the 10K. And then she was like, well, give me some money. And he was like, I got you. And then she ended up walking out. And then I told him I was going to my car and I took the 10,000 and got the fuck on. Yeah. Okay, cool. The next day, as I'm going through the situation, Jordanos blocked me on social media, so I couldn't see her close friends. I couldn't see anything that she was saying. And Mila, who was a mutual friend, called me and was like, hey, G, I just want to let you know that this is being said. And she did this to another friend. She's been doing this to all her friends. She wants to keep this man around so much that she's literally bringing around all her friends every time he comes in town to try to see who he wants. And he pays them and she falls out with them because she doesn't get paid. She just gets like some shoes or a purse or some shit. And so Mila, that's the type of person she is. Like, she'll tell you what nobody else will. You get what I'm saying? But her energy never gave lying for monetary gain. I promise you. And it's like for her to have moved in as a live-in chef, if you see what Mila looks like, she is a fine ass girl. Okay. She is a BBL chef, but before she was a chef, she had worked in nightlife, right? And she wanted more. She always knew how to cook. One thing about it. Okay. She didn't like girls. If she would have liked girls back then, you know, because she knew how to fucking cook. Oh my God, the bitch knew how to cook her ass off. So for me seeing all of these posts about the whole lawsuit and stuff like that, I will tell you that that girl is not lying on that man. She's not. She's not. And of course, I just had to fuck, like when this first came out, I was like, who is the chef? So when I found out it was Mila, because there's only really two known female baddie chefs that I feel like in Atlanta. There's Chef Lex and there's Chef Mila. Those are like the BBL baddie chefs in Atlanta, right? And so when I found out it was Mila, I said, yeah, no, she's not lying at all. And it's so fucked up because you want me to tell you what I think happened? I think that he made her a move-in chef. Okay, a live-in chef, okay, which of course removed her out of nightlife and everything like that. Of course she's cooking, and then he probably wanted to have, so he needed her to leave. So of course she left. Fuck it. But guess what? Even though she's leaving, she still fucking lives there. But then she wanted to be paid. When you're a live-in chef, you're paid on a salary, right? That means it doesn't matter how many days you have off. You have an agreement on how much you get paid a week, right? So what I'm guessing happened is that week that he asked her to leave, she pretty much was like, hey, like, I'm still getting paid. Where's my money? And he pretty much started being a motherfucking nigga, being a asshole. And so she's like, what? Like, okay, I'm gonna just come get my stuff or something like that. And then still wanted her money though. Like, hey, you owe me this. And then it turned into a back and forth of, you pay me a salary. You told me to leave for the week, but you still owe me my money, right? And he being a nigga, I ain't paying you. What the fuck? I saw the text messages. You could tell they had dealt with each other in some type of other way. Okay. I mean, shit, I'm gonna be honest. If Mila was my live-in chef, I would be, I'm just being honest. She a fine bitch and she knows how to fucking cook. So for me, right, when I looked at the situation and to say that he like came in and like choked her, I guess cause she called him pussy, yeah, nigga, whatever. And they was like talking real crazy back to each other. I 1,000% do think that he choked her up. Have you ever like been like sexual with somebody and like you're a little out of control going crazy? And so then they like hem you up a little bit, but they're not knowing that you cannot do that with everybody. Especially when you're not paying me my fucking money. So for me, He did that shit. And Mila's not wrong. Get your motherfucking money, babe. And to be honest, I hope you win. I really do. Because you guys, out of all the girls that I met in nightlife, Mila never gave drama. She never gave drama at all. She would mind her little business, make her money, do her little cooking in the meantime, but she was never a liar. I never saw her as a liar. But anyways, yeah, I know who she is. She a good bitch. And I hope she...
Now guys, there you have it from Miss Gorgeous Doll. As I broke it down to you guys yesterday, Gorgeous Doll told us that Mila is not messy, she's not a liar, she doesn't cause drama. And I believe Gorgeous Doll based on those text messages, because you could see wherein she was just communicating with the guy. And it seems as though Mila was willing, as hurtful as it was. She naturally, if something like that happened to you, you would feel embarrassed. You'd be caught in mixed emotions, mixed feelings. And maybe Mila wanted to focus on doing her business, focus on her career, and keep it moving. But then when she asked Diggs about her pay, and he was like, I'm not going to pay you and another chef at the same time. Do you think I'm stupid? But you told the girl to take the week off. You told her to go home. So you are entitled to pay her. If you told her to take the week off, you're going to need the room. It's okay, not to worry. He'll tell you when to come back. He's entitled to paying her because he told her to go. He let her go before the contract was up. So he's obligated to paying her for that week and a nice severance package. How are you going to get away from the law? How are you above the law? This is not about money, because this woman is not just saying, oh, I need $6 million and $3 million. She's saying, I want the money that is outstanding for me, and I want you to be held legally accountable for you putting your hands on me. That's what she's saying. And Steffon Diggs' attorney is saying that they have evidence which is gonna expunge the allegations against Steffon Diggs. I'm wondering what heck of a evidence do they have? What? Text messages? What kind of evidence is that? Her lobbying for herself through text messages? No. Is that evidence Cardi B coming to say, oh, but I was speaking to her every day and she never said such things to me and we spoke about a lot of things? Of course a woman is not going to tell you that, oh, your man just put your hands on me after she was sleeping with him, because Gorgeous Doll is saying it. I said it to you guys on the day of, Diggs' arraignment when Mila put out that post on Instagram when she basically is saying everything was professional. I said, I don't believe everything was professional. I do believe they got personal, and that's where things got sour. Steffon Diggs played her. He wanted to get her out of there because maybe Diggs realized that Mila was communicating with Cardi B as well. And maybe Diggs didn't know what Mila was saying to Cardi, and maybe Cardi B had given Steffon Diggs the heads up that, hey, Mila is telling me everything that is going on in this house, right? And what if Cardi B was saying to Steffon Diggs, Mila is telling me everything that goes down there? Because women are mischievous, even men. People do that. They just want to know that there's someone else in the house. Even parents do that to their kids. They'll say, oh, but the child told me XYZ when the child is not saying anything. So we don't know if Steffon Diggs was triggered to get rid of Mila because Cardi B was like, you have other women coming over. Mila is telling me everything, and maybe it went down like that, and Steffon Diggs was like, okay, I've got to get Mila out of here, but I've got to do so tactfully. So I'm just going to tell her to take the week off. I need the room for someone and to take her things. And once she's out, that's it. He got rid of her. And Mila May picked up that this man has used many women because she says there's a circus going on in there. There's a circus, and if she has witnessed the circus, then Mila could catch up on she's about to get played. And maybe she was there just telling him that you're a good for nothing because you had me here making me believe this, and you said you wanted this, and you said you wanted that. And maybe to Steffon Diggs, that doesn't fly because that's his house. How dare you raise your voice at me in my house? That's how men are, even to their wives. So just imagine this woman working for him as his chef, and then she broke the professionalism boundaries by sleeping with him. So he feels entitled to this woman, especially if he has been whining and dining her. He feels entitled to her. So when she was there defending herself, like, how dare you do this to me? I don't deserve this. He was like, what? In my house? And I feel that's how it went down. And he crossed his boundaries. And when she got home, she was waiting, hoping that she would have gotten paid. Maybe Mila wanted to report it all along, but you know how they say when your hand is in a shark's mouth, you have to take your time and pull it out. I believe Mila was waiting for her severance package before she make a police report. She realized that the dude is playing hardball because he's saying, I had to pay a chef, so I'm not going to pay you. And when she read that, oh, so you've already replaced me with another chef. So this was all game for you. And you put your hands on me. I'm going to want my money, and I'm not going to allow you to do this to me and get away with it, because that is a double playing situation. You abuse a woman, not just financially, but also physically. So anyone with feelings would definitely want to take legal actions against him. And I believe that Cardi B was communicating with the chef, as she has told us, and the chef was just playing everything cool with Cardi B because she knows she was smashing Diggs. So she's not going to complain to Cardi B about anything, because who is Cardi B? Cardi B is not her boss. Cardi B is not the person who hired her initially. She's just another woman in the equation, and that's how Mila saw her. She's not a wife. Cardi B considers herself to be more than that, but Steffon Diggs is showing Mila that Cardi B is nothing but just another F to him. So Mila is going to be tactful in her communication with Cardi B, and she's not going to share everything with Cardi B. She knows how to communicate. She has worked around other women, and she knows how women can be, and she was very tactful in her communication with Barney B. So Barney B feels as though she knows everything, because in her head, Mila was good. They were bestie. They had an understanding, but no, honey, you didn't have an understanding. Mila was just being diplomatic with you, so you have no testimony against that woman, because she can spin the block on both Diggs and Cardi B. And if I was in Mila's shoe, I would tell the court the truth. Yes, we were smashing, and because we were smashing, this guy felt as though he had the right to put his hands on me. Be honest about it, because when you're honest about it, they can spin it both ways, but at least the judge will get to see why Steffon Diggs felt so entitled to put his hands on you. You have to be smart. If you're a great chef, people will hire you. They may be looking at you in the corner of their eyes, because who wouldn't? You know, around their man. Who wouldn't, right? But you know what? As Gorgeous Doll says, I wish Mila wins this case. I didn't like when Diggs' attorney spoke about evidence, because I'm like, what evidence do you have at this point, right? But let's see what happens. I'm wishing Mila all the best, because I do believe she deserves justice, and I believe everything went down the way that she's saying it did. I had no doubt in her statement from the get-go, and it's not because it is Steffon Diggs, it's just because of what she said and the text messages that were shared after. Makes you put two and two together to know that, okay, this man felt entitled to put his hand on this woman because they had a little something, and he didn't like the fact that she was being loudmouth in his house. That's how I see it. That's just my personal analysis of what could have possibly went down that led Diggs to putting his hands on Mila. But let me know what you guys think. Leave your comments below. While you're at it, you know what to do to support your girl, so do all you need to. And we're gonna talk some more in the comment section. Peace.